Hey, how's it going? Today is 14th of February, Wednesday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities are available out there quickly, right? So in this video, I would like to take a look at financial incentives and all with what would be the structure of engaging with sports in England, right? But before we do that, let's take a look at perhaps one of the case study examples and quickly, right? I won't be going too much into detail. Perhaps everything what will be outlined within this article would be great. I haven't read it. I skim it, right? I was taking a look at it for contact information. I couldn't find how to engage within this example, case study example, but I wasn't able to find a way of engaging with the team. Uh, I haven't read it, as I mentioned previously. It's something that was published 26th of January 2024. So that would be a demonstration of how funds, and it would most likely would be a full breakdown, right? Which might be important for many. This is a quick example that would give a different perspective of everything, perhaps of what people would need to know about organization, everything. It would be a sort of case study example and demonstration, right? It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to engage with the team, right? So I can briefly take a look at this example, and we're gonna move into creating our own opportunities, so to say, right? How to do presentation, right? Just need a lot of colors, numbers, right, and trying to make a sense of data, right? Some of those graphs and data can be presented in different ways. Some of those ways can be very complex, right? So what they would be looking to accomplish is present that information, how money would be used, and some of those funds be allocated. Using this case study example, how I would be able to engage with the team. If there isn't a way, let's take a look at, right? I haven't read it. Let's take a look at the bottom of this case study example. There is a way of engaging with the team, right? There is a war going on in the background. People are shooting guns. Dog is barking. Everything's happening, right? But I need to cover this article, and we can move and progress to the next one. I'm not able to find a way of engaging with the team. So that's what I'm looking to accomplish, right? So how we can do it? We must consider demonstrating and or sharing some examples of how money was used and how money was allocated, which is great. Engaging with the team, I cannot find it. Let's progress. The reason why I'm looking to recharge this organization and my plan or strategy got me into this, right? I'm gonna be looking to you. It's something that's outlined on this organization's website. That will be funding, right? And it's something that I have covered previously. Perhaps after a glimpse of introduction to this organization, but you perhaps consider doing your own research, right? I would be taking a look at funding, and I would be looking to secure partnerships, right? There's like some case study examples and as well as campaigns, right? So different ways of approaching and or establishing partnerships with this organization. I would be looking for funding and looking to secure a partnership. That would be point of contact and reaching out to this organization. Hopefully, I could do that within the next hour or so. Quickly, right? Let's take a look at the budget. And as of I think that would be 2021 and 22 budget was total was 631 million. Then the years, I'm trying to understand this data, right? I'll try to find different source. So that would be between that year to that year was 631. Let's see where this organization now if we can find this information. Why that's important, right? So I was taking a look at about 2 weeks ago. I was taking a look at press release, and within the press release there was public outrage about how misleading BBC was, and the government had to take action based on how misleading it was, right? And then I open accounts of BBC, and in accounts it says it BBC is number one trusted broadcaster. So it's conflicting information. It can be more conflicted than the massive. How many people need to complain for trust issues about BBC, right? So now let's take a look at Sports England, right? So I'm trying to find its accounts. It's very hard to do, right? Yeah, I have managed to find some reports, and within those reports, I'm trying to find everything what was filed, right? But again, to to understand all this data, right? it might be very hard, and it might be done on purpose to make it very hard to understand. If you ask me, it as of now, it would say that they are working with 631. Quickly, I'll try to read the full report. It's 86 pages, right? So I'll try to take a look at this report quickly, right? So report that I'm referring to, that would be annual reports and accounts, right? For ended 31st of March 2022. So I'll skim through this report and I'll try to find what's the budget of this organization. Then I'm taking a look at these accounts. And I already see million mistakes, million problems, and I'm not a professional. So if I were to take a look at Sports England accounts and reports, right? There's missing million information beginning with, and I'm not a journalist, I'm not a professional at this, right? So that's Sports England. If I would come back to this organization's website, it would say that there's two companies, right? Sports England and the National Lottery, right? That's another organization, and for whatever reason, that organization is set up in islands. This organization is set up in a self-governing British Crown dependency in REC between England and Ireland, also known as Isle of Man. That's where this organization is set up, right? Another one. So they already missing a lot of information from the accounts, since there might be a lot of money accounts coming in from National Lottery, which not necessarily is reflected on the accounts, right? Since there's a 90 or close to 90, 86 pages of Sports England accounts. Well, that's what I'm looking at. What about National Lottery? Where is this information? Where the funds came in, who spent, and where the funds have been spent? I don't know. They would say some information about how money has been allocated, but a big portion. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just trying to understand what's entire budget. I cannot find it, right? And it's way too much information, and that information, the way how it's structured, and misleading, and I'm just tired, right? If you would ask me, perhaps they're operating with 4 billion, and how much of those 4 billion is in assets, right? And who owns those assets? That's something I myself I'd be interested in. If that's just the bulk part, right? Perhaps about 4 billion, and out of perhaps even more than 4 billion, right? And it's not Sports England. It's two organizations, National Lottery and Sports England. So it's two organizations, and how many worth of assets they have, and what's operating costs. Perhaps there's the only thing that's going to be reflected, right? And Sports England have taxes and tax money, and some of that's been allocated, but I don't know what income was coming from assets, and how much of those assets money was generated. What's a portion of National Lottery that has to play in all this mix? All of that information is missing. Yourself, if you're interested in learning more, I have published their book that will be sustainable practices and how you can potentially develop your first business. And if anything, I would be sharing some of the framework of how to do it and taking a look at livestock enterprise within this book. That would be financial metrics. So very similar to what we are taking a look at in today's video, right? And I'm just trying to understand everything that's happening, right? I don't know all the details, but if you would ask me, there's so much capital, and I don't know where to find this information. I'll come back to that in just a second. But how someone can correct me, right? If I make any mistakes. Within this book, I'm taking a look at zero and how to progress from zero to first 10,000 euros, dollars, pounds, and how people can achieve that. And it comes to operating your own sustainable business. Something yourself interested in, there would be a QR code in the corner company's website below. Then taking a look at this organization, right, and I'm trying to find entire budget, what this organization is working with, what belongs to who owns some, and who doesn't really need to show this kind of information. I'm taking a look at two organizations, that's the Sports of England in the bottom of this picture, right, as well as the National Lottery, right. So it's not one, it's two organizations, and perhaps National Lottery has funds allocating as well to this organization. So that accounts not really reflect that, but they would say it's accounts for England and Sports England. but accounts is not really for just one organization, right? I think the two organizations are working in partnership, so there's some accounts missing. I can't find this information. So perhaps someone can correct me and send me all data. I'm looking to understand all information. So I'm looking to understand entire budget. And that means how many assets or facilities sitting on the balance sheet. That's something that I'm interested in, as well as what's entire budget, right? So there's two organizations, not one. And it would be great to have this kind of information available for public. Would be great. As of now, accounts is published for 2020 one 2022 only, so it's for previous years, right? Perhaps it is not required to publish most recent accounts, which is great. Perhaps everything is working right. What I would like to see entire budget, right? Two organizations, entire budget, or perhaps the national lottery is not taking part in any of that. Even better, the logo in the bottom of this organization's website is not required to be there. So they say, which is great. It doesn't really matter. I'm trying to understand entire budget, tax money. Well, it's only one thing that I care as of now. Thanks for watching. See you next one.